up, guys? It's your girl Mac Cox with A Couture Crafting. I'm not sure which video you're going to see first, but this is basically the Clam Up versus the Ditty Bag. In this video, I will be showing you how to put together the Ditty Bag, but I put together both of these. This is ByAnnie's #1 selling bag, and she wanted this, which is a new release, to be the answer to this bag. So I wanted to make them both. I'd never made this bag before, but I would see it all over the internet. I would see people using it, and I would be jelly. This bag is so glamorous. It's so feminine. I like it. This one here, though, is sleek, and it's definitely a sexy kind of sleekness about this bag, and I do enjoy this one too. This one, however, took me a little longer, but if you need this kind of bag, we need to know how to put it together. It's not difficult, but it does look frightening the way that it comes together because you're actually inserting these panels right here. Across the top, it has the ByAnnie zipper. You can do some customization with that too. I chose to keep it plain this first time around. It just has the one zipper. It has these two handles on the side, and again, it is just it's rectangular and it's boxy, but I like it. I would love to use this for my toiletries. I went ahead and got super funky and I changed it up a bit. I treated both of these fabrics like they were directional, even though they are not. And I was able to mix and match it and give it a little zhuzh. You guys know how I like to do. So if you want to see how this comes together, please keep watching. I know I said Clam Up versus Ditty, but honestly, it just kind of depends upon what your needs are, who the person is that you're making these for. This one is faster, but I think that this one, I feel like this one is bigger. I feel like this one would hold more stuff. Check it out. It's a cutie patootie. I really enjoyed making this. I'm glad that I did. It's going to be my gift for the holiday season. And also, do not sleep on 12-weight thread when you're quilting for ByAnnie projects. It's kind of my thing. You will probably always see me using 12-weight thread. This one is the Glamour, which gives it a little bit of a sparkle because it has that metallic that goes through it, but it won't snap in your machine. It's like a durable metallic kind of vibe. So again, you guys, check it out. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye. We're doing another bag, and it's all in the same theme and whatnot. So this one's going to be the Ditty Bag. We're kind of comparing the Clam bag to the Ditty Bag. And we're going to see what we come up with. I'm going to give this bag a little zhuzh because it's who I am. It's what I do every now and then. I'm going to treat this bag like it is, like I'm using directional fabric. And then I'm going to zhuzh it one more time with the other pieces in the same way. So just stay tuned to my craziness. You guys have met me. You guys know I try things, so I've got an idea and I've got to see it through because now it's itching me to see if it can be done. So give me just a second to get rid of some selvages and see what we come up with. But again, I'm going to treat this, the main body of the bag, as though it's directional fabric. Okay. So here is the first part. I have sewn two pieces together instead of using one solid piece. I'm going to grab the lining. I'm going to grab my soft and stable. I'm going to cut down the side pieces, which I think are going to be a different print. Deal with all of that, and then we'll be back. So I have cut out everything I need, and I'm going to do some customizing. So most people would probably just do this in one color and then cut this from that, but that's, you know, a little too simple. So we have our main bag body. These are going to be the sides. This is going to be some binding and some handles and whatnot. Then we've got our binding for the inside because that's just that color. And then we're going to do something fun with the border strip. Let's get into the border strip right now. So in my mind, on the bottom of the bag, I don't know why, but I don't want it to just go straight. I want it to kind of graduate. I don't know if this mouth is going to work. I don't know if this is the proper angle. I just don't know any of the things. And I'm not... yeah, this one will be on the front. So what I'm going to try to do is, I know that the dimensions of the bag say that the bag is 3.5 inches wide. So I'm going to go in these 3 inches, and I'm going to go from this corner to this corner within the 3 inches to grab this angle. I don't know if this makes any sense, and I am not even going to try to explain why I'm doing it this way, really. We're just going to see what we get. I just want this angle to sit. I don't know why, because you're not going to be able to see. It's literally the bottom of the bag, but maybe this will be a new skill for us. I don't know if both of these should be up or not. I have no idea. We're just going to try it. I know that this will fit here. You know, that I know for sure. And it's a solid, so we should be good. All right, that looks good. I'm going to sew these together. I'm going to offset it a little bit and sew them together and then see what we get. I'm going to offset it by 1/4 inch, and then we'll go right sides together. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we sewed it together. It looks beautiful. Hopefully that happens within a 3. It does. So I think I might have done this right. I'm going to press this seam open and then in half, and then we'll work with it from there. Before I start on the ribbon part, because I'm treating this like a piece of directional fabric, I need to make sure that the seam down the center is where it's supposed to be, and I have enough on the right and the left. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, I have cut my border strip. I have worked with this, the bag body panel, and I like what I'm seeing here. I am going to go back and really follow the directions from start. I just was super excited about getting this strap the way that I wanted. So I'm going to just go back and make sure that I've prepped all the things that I need to prep. The zipper, the coordinating fabrics, all that kind of stuff. This looks beautiful. I'm excited about it. But we're going to put this to the side and get back to doing this the way that ByAnnie wanted us to. This does not need to be sealed yet. This is my main body. These 2 quilted pieces, which I have done the same way that I did the other one. I've used 2 different colors of thread, Glamour, and I'm going to cut this down to size right now. So I cut these little cutie patooties down to size, and then I have gone around with a sealing stitch about 1/8 of the way from the edges all around this guy. Again, no need to do that with that. So we're back to like page 2, step B. We're on track now. So I need to do a zipper. It's so funny that I buy all this black zipper tape, which makes sense for my aesthetic. And then I have all these colorful zippers, which also makes sense. However, for this project, what I really wanted to do was just have some black zippers. And I don't own a piece of a black zipper, which makes me so sad. So I use Zippers by the Yard. This is a fresh cut on this one, so I know that this is the end that I'm going to cut. This is the one that's always going to stay the same. I gave it a little pull apart. I love the Zippers by the Yard. It's my preference. And I bought all this black because, you know, that makes sense for my aesthetic. I love the black zipper tape. But why didn't I get any black zippers? I guess I thought I would never, ever want black zipper tape. A back zipper pull. So I never got it. And now I feel silly because all I wanted was a black zipper for this project, for both of the Clam Up bags and stuff. And now I have I have to use all this colorful stuff. I just marked the area that I will be cutting, which is down here. So I just need to get that zipper in that area. And then I'll do a little stitching before and after. Where's the area that I marked? Where'd you go? Oh, there it is. Perfect. Now the zipper slide is in the area that I want, between here and here. And I'm going to just grab this ruler and chomp it off. I love that you can do that. And then I'm going to sew on this side and this side to make sure that the zipper doesn't fall off, and this zipper strip will be prepared. So now we have the bag body, the zipper, the two panels for the side. We have the, what is this? Something. Oh, I think that's some binding and some tabbies or whatnot. I don't know. Now I'm going to do the bias tape for the inside. I am matching the bias I'm matching the inside bias with the inside lining so it doesn't draw attention. I'm going to just go from diagonal angle to diagonal angle. I'm going to do mine a little differently than she does hers. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to give me less seams to sew. I'm cutting one diagonal angle. I'm going to take this and match it here. I'm going to do a little overhang, 1/4 of an inch on that corner and this corner. That part is important. Now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and just sew down, leaving that hanging over just like that. Now that I have sewn this into this, I press the seam open, and I'm just going to put it this way here, and I'm going to make some binding strips at the width that they are telling me to cut this. This might look weird, but it's easier to cut it this direction, and I should take off this little dog ear right here. The other dog ear I probably won't actually run into, but that one I will. So I'm going to cut this how she has me do it. And I get one strip. I'm going to get 2 strips. And I'm going to get a 3rd strip. And then I'm going to sew all my strips together. And that is supposedly supposed to give me all the binding that I need for the inside of the bag. And the way that I do that is I line these up this way and then just go right sides together and sew these together, giving a little 1/4 of an inch overhang. Just like that. I pressed this strip in half. From here, just pressed it in half, and now I put that to the side. We have our binding. Next, we're going to prepare our handles. These are going to be super duper easy. It's a square. You're going to fold your square in half. And I guess we can give it a little pressy press. But then we're going to fold it to the center. And then we're going to give it a strong press and sew 1/8 around it. You get the picture. We're going to fold this to the half, press it, and then press it in half, and then sew around it. I am at a weird angle. I'm going to do this, and I will be back. Now we have edge stitched all around that guy. And just know that I jump between my straight stitch and my M7 for all of my ByAnnie bag needs. I do my edge stitching with the M7. I quilt with the M7. I put everything together with the HD9. I know that's craziness, My M7 can do it all, but I just like to jump between the two. But that M7 really can handle a punch when it comes to these layers. This is the part that I've been dying to get to. I really want to work with this ribbon part, which is the zhuzh of this bag, really. So they're giving me 2 dimensions to mark in this direction. So this is going to be the top of the bag, and this is going to be the bottom. And so it's giving me some dimensions to mark here and down here. Be careful. Make sure you're using the right dimensions for the size of your bag. I'm doing the largest bag, so the dimensions that I need to use are in brackets, not parentheses. That's important. So they want me to mark some lines on the bottom of the bag. This is in a later step, but because I know that I want this border to land in a very specific place, I'm going to mark it now. And I'm going to mark this very carefully. When I stitch on that, I'm going to try to stitch directly on that line, because that's going to bleach that fabric, and I know it is. But it's the bottom of the bag. Make sure you read all the directions and watch all the videos before you construct the bag so that you know what's coming. But it's important that I land my strip between these lines. This is going to be the dead bottom. And because I'm always using black fabric with like super contrasting fabric, black or white or whatever, I always have 2 different pins out usually, because yeah, it's a thing. Now I need to connect these 2 lines that I was supposed to do. There's the angle that we're looking for right there. And we're going to use this. I'm actually tempted to use this so that I could really see it. I think this will actually show up on both. It will. And it's going to be covered, so I think we're good. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to take this and carefully not disturb that chalk line. I'm going to flip it over to this side, and I'm going to put this halfway mark right here. I'm touching the half to the half, and I can see that this angle lands right within these 2 marks, which is what I want it to do. We can actually bring it down so that it ends at that top, at the middle. There we go. Then I am going to clamp with my Wonder Clips this fabric down so that it doesn't move. And I'm going to sew it down using this guide here, this straight angle. I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch to the left on this fabric. But first I'm going to pin it down in place and clamp it down so it's not moving all over the place. Oh, this just got interesting. I hope you guys think this bag is as sharp as I do, because this is giving something. It's probably giving crazy YouTube lady, but crazy YouTube lady be coming up with some stuff sometimes. I must say that was kind of fun. So I've sewn 1/4 of an inch. I can see here it's gotten a little thinner there, a little wider right here, but not so much that I'm nervous that when we turn this over, ooh, interesting. What did we learn? Nope, gotta do it again. The angle that is here is not the angle that is there. So we're going to rip it and we're going to do it again. This angle, when you turn it over, needs to be sitting down here. Let's rip it and try again. Oh, I was so excited. You see that? So the angle starts here and it ends here, which this would be pretty almost showing on the front of the bag, and that's no-go for me. We want this at the bottom of the bag. So it's gonna have to start. Ah, interesting. I should have made the angle less, because I'm barely gonna be able to hide it. I'm gonna be able to hide it. It needs to come down just this much right here. This needs to start at that line in order to get that not to extend over. It extends over just the faintest bit. I'm going to rip it and do it again and just adjust this. Yep, we ripped it out. We're lining it up again. I'm pulling it taut. All the foolishness will be on the inside so nobody will see it. Yeah, we're good. Just gonna, okay, we're fine. So now when we pull it over, there we go. Now we got action. I almost want to get really crazy and try something. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. First things first, I'm going to push this over nice and tight and press it. And then I am going to, I think I'm going to put another one on top of it. That's the opposite. Yep, I think I'm going to try it. Let's see. I'll be back. So I have sewn this down and I have just gotten this couture and as jiggy as I can with this. I decided to do a thread change so it comes down. I cut across this way, switch threads, cut back down this way. This is, at this point, this should just be submitted to a quilt show. I want this bag juried. I guess it could be at a fair. Anyway, let me just show you guys why I think I'm the world's greatest sewer today. I think I'm going to take it a step further because I don't know when to stop. So I think I'm going to take another strip and make it opposite and sit it on top of this just to annoy everybody and show everybody that I really don't know when to stop. So I'm doing the same thing. I've cut this a little less than 2 inches just because I'm trying to use my bias tape maker too. So we'll see if that works. I'm going to lay this on top of the other just the way I did the other one. And I'm going to do that same angle so I can keep that same angle. And I'm just going to hope for the best. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm making this up as I go along. In my mind, it makes sense, but what does that even mean? So I'm hitting the angle between these 3 inches right here. No idea if these were both, if the both sides of this blank one, if this solid couldn't be used. I'm not sure if this would work. I'm not sure if I just don't even want to think through if these both should have been facing up or one should have been facing down because of the angle, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to do some overhang here and sew these together and then see what we get. I'm having all kinds of good luck. So my bias tape maker worked with that seam, which I wasn't 100% sure if it would. I use this big one, which is I think this is the 1-inch bias tape maker. Again, I cut this stripped like 1 7/8, not quite 2 inches, and ran it through. The angle is definitely not the same, but it works. My question is, how do I want to treat this black? Do I just want to leave it stark black? Do I just want to maybe quilt through it? How do I want to treat that guy? And I think I'm making a mountain out of it, just doing too much. And I'm sure many of you are like, just leave it like that, which is kind of cool and stark. And it's got that big black strip and it's beautiful. And I probably should leave it. But this could be kind of interesting too. I'm just not 100% sure what to do. Gotta think on it for a few moments. So as I looked at it and I took some pictures of it, it looks better with the ribbon down the center. It just adds a little bit more interest. This is really a great time to use my ruler. I've teased it a few times and whatnot, and I don't know that I'm going to release it before this video, but let me show you why it's cool. Anyway, I need to know that this is the same distance from here as it is from here, and I can do that with the centering ruler without doing this. And then, no. I'm going to center it the best I can. I've got the 1 inch marks right here that are touching the outside of the black. And then I can see, if I scooch this over a little bit, that it's sitting the same distance from here to here and here to here without knowing any measurements or any of that. I'm just eyeballing it and I can see it looks pretty good. I love this ruler for that. We totally needed this ruler. Now that my ribbon, I'm calling this thing that I did down the center a ribbon, even though you and I both know it is not, needs the excess cut off of it. Looks pretty neat from the back. And remember, whatever you do will be seen on your lining. Not that that really matters. Not just yet. Okay, that's looking good. Let's see what to do now. We need to do these markings. So we've got these 2 markings already, but we need to do the rest of the markings that tell us where to cut away so that we can shape this bag really quickly. So let me go and find all the markings and get to it. Let me just say that step B was kicking my butt because it needs you to mark this horizontal line this much down from the top. And the way that it looks on here was very difficult for me. However, we figured it out. So we've got identical lines pretty much everywhere. So we'll be okay. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying I struggled with reading that. So here they are. Looking at the pictures, you'll figure it out. But we're getting ready to cut away that and kind of make these little T-ends, these little boxy ends. So I have cut away that, and now we've got our little T's that look good. Now I'm going to sew around with a 1/8 of an inch all the way around and seal up all these edges. And I'm also going to sew on these very faint lines that we have marked earlier. What I'm going to do different about this is I'm actually not going to go all the way through here. I am going to not do that. I'm not going to sew through there. I think it'll be okay. I am going to tighten up this stitch a lot, like a 1.8 or something crazy like that. But I'm going to stitch, stop, knot, stitch, stop, and we'll do that. Our next process is to attach the zipper. Not scary. Throw that zipper over there on the left. Make sure it's overhanging about even. We're going to go right sides together. And then we're just going to clip this bad boy in place. How am I going to sew this way? Clip it in place. Nothing interesting here. We're not going to have it overhang like we usually do. We're just going to sew it down with a 1/4 inch seam from side to side. Now I'm going to grab my Kai scissors that are, you know, kind of my precision scissors. I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to cut away, trying very carefully not to cut the zipper tape. I'm going to cut away about 1/8 of this. And I'm going to be so careful not to cut this zipper tape. I'm going to try to fold it down a little bit, because we don't want any kind of problems. But I know she wants us to encapsulate it, so I'm trying not to cut my stitches, but I'm kind of cutting away that 1/8 that we cut before, that we sewed before. I'm just trying to cut that away, basically. And again, trying not to cut the stitches that are attaching this to this. It's a little fiddly. We need to go slow, which I don't love doing, but we're all right. What is that, a scissor? Okay. Ooh, that took all of 2 seconds, which was, it felt like forever. It really did. I'm just going to cut this away, being careful. Next thing is to flip this like this and pull this and finger press it down, as she says, and turn it. And the object of the game is to enclose all those raw edges. So we want this to lay flat. Alright, fine. And then we're going to stitch it down, which produces a line of top stitching on the front, which I've never been that fond of, but I haven't figured out how to incorporate the binding hack into this one, so we're just going to do what we're supposed to. We have our top stitching done, which looked so good until I hit this right here, and I'm like, did it jump off? Well, yeah, because it's super chunky right there. But other than that, I think it looks lovely. Can't see it. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to pull this puppy up, and I am going to make sure that it's lined up with the body of the bag, and these T's are lined up so they are even. And we'll do a little clippy clip, and then we will sew this to the bag the same way. And then we'll cut away the same way. Then we're going to open it up to stitch. I'll show you. Zipper has been attached. 1/8 has been cut away. Now we've just got to... Nobody told me to put fabric right there instead of a ribbon. Okay. Now I'm going to reach in inside the bag. Open it. These stops are here. Flip the bag right side out. Flippy flippy. Where are we working? Here. And then I'm going to smooth this out and then take this to the sewing machine and sew like this. So I open the bag, and then we're just gonna sew it down. Sew it down, and we should be fine. Zipper has been sewn. It looks pretty good. I'm pleased. So now I need to add some zipper stops. I'm going to hold that together and sew on the inside of that, and then trim it away, and then do the same thing on this side and then trim it away. I have sewn some stops. Now I'm just going to flip this upside down and cut away the excess. Trim it even with the thing here. Hoping that I did not trim away the stop, which I did not. Where's the zipper? It's in the center. Okay. Okay. Looks good. Looks like a bag of some sort. Now it's a time to attach our bag sides. And the way we do that is just nice and simple, like this. And then we sew 1/4 of an inch like that. We're gonna turn it down and just attach it. Right sides together. Nothing too complicated or special about it. I'm going to throw a couple of Wonder Clips for the win for this project. And I'm going to just sew. My sides are non-directional. If your sides are directional, make sure you know which side is up. They're going to flip down, so be careful. Be careful. Okay. I'm just going to take this over to the sewing machine. Also, these are the binding little guys here. I'm going to do something different, and I am going to fold these in half and press them. ByAnnie does not press any of her bindings or anything like that. I get better results if I press it. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to press it, and I'll be right back, and then I'll show you how I prep these two. I know that there's a step coming where she wants me to sew at 3/8 inch, 1/4 of an inch, and 1/8 of an inch. I like to just mark it. You're like, what? Yeah. And sew on the line. I find that I just get a cleaner result like that. So I'm going to go on 1/8 of an inch right here. And then I'm just going to draw the line. 1/8. Then I'm going to go up to 1/4, and then I'm going to draw another line. And then we're going to go up to 3/8, and I'm going to draw another line. And now if I just stitch on the line, I'll be okay. You know? So I'll show you when we need that, but I'm going to go on ahead and just prep this other one. Sew this bag, and then I'll show you when we use this in a second. So I have sewn this to the side here. And now I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. I'm going to match these raw edges up. And then I'm going to sew on every single line straight across. Now that these little baggy tabby thingies are attached, right, we're going to pull this out, and then we're going to pull this down and cover up all that gross binding. And I'm going to sew this down and then come back around here and then sew back up really quickly just to flat bind. Then we will do that on both sides, and then I'll attach the bag handles after I do that. Okay. So those covered nicely. I hate that I didn't realize that they were going on the inside, and I should have made them gray, but I don't think you'll be able to see those. Now we need to grab our little side straps, and they're going to go right where that line pretty much was sewn. I'm going to put it right over it. I'm going to sew one side and then lift it up and sew the other because it's got a little bit of wiggle room in there for you. So just sew down one side. I'd say do a little back stitch in there too. Then lift it up and sew down the other side. Do that on both sides. This is really coming together cute. Okay, we're almost there. We've got to open the bag, turn the bag inside out, which really isn't that difficult to do, seeing as all that it has no sides on it. Boop. And now it is time to plop these sides it's time to make them bag sides. First we got to find center, then we will align the centers. Well, that's clearly the center where the crease is, but should be anyway. I've got to find this center and then mark it with a pin. And now we are going to get with those Wonder Clips and just clip all around those sides. Is that the center? That doesn't feel like the center. Now that I've got center marked, I'm going to find center here and clip it right sides together on both sides. Okay. Now I've got some clips on this. I don't have a ton of clips on there because I really don't think this needs it. It kind of does come together very cool right here when you pinch this in and whatnot. Now for the bottom of the bag, you want this to have like about a 1/4 of an inch overhang, which I do have a nice overhang on that side, a little less on this side, but I think we'll be fine. They want you to snip right in here. They want you to do about 1/8 of an inch. Don't go in a 1/4 of an inch, but about 1/8 of an inch to give this some room to breathe. So I'm going to grab the Kai scissors for that because they've got that precision tip. And I'm just going to do a little snip here that is a generous 1/8. And another one here on this corner. There we go. And that'll give it a little room to open up. You see that? Is it opening up? And then we can kind of smash that down and let it do its thing. All right, now with the scant 1/4 inch, I'm going to attach this side. But first I'm going to make sure that I left a little opening. So yeah, I did. So I can turn this when it is time. But yeah, that looks good. Looks like a real bag side here. And I'm going to stitch with the bag down this way. I'm going to start here and come on down and rotate and then come on down. We've sewn this and it looks pretty good. We've got a little overhang in these corners, so we need to take them off and kind of round them. Not cutting the stitches, but just getting rid of some of that excess there. On both sides. And here we go. That looks good. Now it's time to bind that baby. I'm going to bind it like we do all of our ByAnnie bags. Or most of them. I'm going to grab this binding here. And we're going to let it overhang just a little bit, about 1/2 inch where we start. Just like we did before, where the base of the bag is on the machine. I'm going to start like this, and I'm going to grab an actual full 1/4 inch, and I'm just going to cover it all the way around. First things first, I'm going to get rid of this little tail thing here, and make sure to start off with a straight edge. All right. here I go. I went ahead and bound the bag. There was nothing really to see there. Binding is not fun for me. I don't enjoy it. I'm not the best at it. You need to do these corners kind of like a present. You tuck them in. She's got a video. It cannot be explained any better than she does. You know, it's binding, it's bound, it's okay. You know, it is what it is. Really need to get some darker gray thread. Okay. Now it is time to birth this bag. Actually, let's clip some of these threads really quickly. And not clip the bag after I have worked so hard on this guy. And then I'm going to turn it inside out. Or right side out.